I'm very sensitive to time, as you know. I have family members that are living with some autoimmune diseases, and one day they were one way, the next day they were a different way, and it's given me an obsession in a healthy way about time, and that every day is extremely important in front of me. You get to a point where you just have to decide that time is important, and I don't want the quality of the next decades of my life to be different.
Welcome to Salad with a Side of Fries. I'm your host, Jenn Trepeck, talking wellness and weight loss for real life. We're here to clear up the myths, misinformation, bad science, and marketing to teach you how to eat and how to cheat. Are you ready? I'm having salad with a side of fries. Welcome back to Salad with a Side of Fries. I'm your health coach and host, Jenn Trepeck, here with you every week for wellness without the weirdness, as we say. And I have a returning voice for all of you this week. Shannon is back. Hi, Shannon.
Hello, Miss Jenn. Thanks for inviting me back.
I'm so thrilled for you to be here. So you may remember Shannon was here from our episode that aired in December of 2024 called Plan, Party, Prosper. Don't make me say that part again. A game plan for the season and the new year. And in that episode, we announced the Healthy Vibe Tribe. Now we're back with Shannon as the Healthy Vibe Tribe is wrapping up to hear all about how it went. Shannon, what do you think?
You know, just hearing Healthy Vibe Tribe and knowing that a weekly accountability, it was everything that I wished it to be. I find that if other people know that I am moving in the right direction of goals and living life and enjoying life, not feeling like I'm suffering through the process, then I'm going to be successful in the right direction. So I don't know. I loved every minute of it. What about you, Jenn? How did you feel?
I've loved it. I feel like those Monday night calls, we would hang up and I was like, I don't know how I'm going to go to sleep tonight. Like, I'm so on fire and excited about it. So we're going to dig into all of it really quick before I forget. Let's tell our members what they're getting this week. So members, I'm sending you a recipe to perk up I think, typically boring vegetable, broccoli. So this recipe is Asian broccoli salad with peanut sauce. Right? It's so yummy, not difficult to make. You will need a trip to the grocery store, but it's not difficult. And April is kind of the end of peak broccoli season. So now you know what to do with all your broccoli. And then in addition, I'm sending you an article from our friends at Levels Health called What is a Healthy Body Fat Percentage and Why Does It Matter for Metabolic Health? I always say sometimes we just got to hear things from other people's voices and other people's perspective. We've talked about this many times, and I think they do a great job of breaking it down in this article. So I'm sending that to you too. So if you want this recipe or the article, be sure you're a member. Go to glow.fm/salad with a side of fries. For just $10 a month, you get weekly recipes, a monthly article or tool, extra discounts from me and our partners, plus access to live Q&A sessions. It's a total deal. I say it all the time. It's a steal when you take advantage of the full offerings because you save far more than that $10 cost. It's a no-brainer way to show yourself that your health is a priority. Plus, being a member supports this podcast and this community so we can continue to bring you new episodes and experts every week. So remember, you're going to go to glow.fm/salad with a side of fries, or just scroll down in the app where you're listening, click the more button on the information, and you'll find a link. You can then just click that. Once you're there, you click the little I agree, and then support now, enter your email and payment info, click subscribe, and you're all set. You're going to get this week's recipe for the Asian broccoli salad with peanut dressing and the article, What is a Healthy Body Fat Percentage and Why Does It Matter for Metabolic Health? All right, Shannon, tell me, I can read your face. What's going through your mind?
You know, I'm just sitting here thinking about all the resources that you bring in front of us. You know, we're all super busy, it seems. You know, it doesn't matter what season I've been in life. You know, I remember beginning in my 20s, I thought, I don't have much of a challenge with my weight or my body composition. I was an athlete in high school, and I didn't seem to have those challenges. Then as life got busy in other parts that were very important priorities to myself, being a young mom, etc., being excited about my mark on the world when it comes to business. And, all of a sudden I just became more sedentary by accident and just loved all areas of my life. I was very grateful to feel that way. Yet it was so easy to place myself so much farther on the list. I know many of us can feel that way, right?
100%. And I feel like, first of all, your story is so much like so many of us where, this thing isn't a thing until, right? Whether that was until a certain phase of life, until the pandemic, until a certain age, whatever it is, like it's not a thing and then it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go, well, what am I supposed to do? Right? And there's so much information out there of like, how do we know what to trust and what direction to go in? And I guess I'm sort of curious because you were definitely part of creating the Healthy Vibe Tribe, right? I will give you that. What was behind that for you
Mm-hmm.
and sort of wanting to create it when you did and when you sort of brought myself and some of the other coaches together for it?
Yeah, I find that I love helping others. And I think I surround myself with a lot of servant hearts that just feel that way. And it just feels so great to help other people. And I knew that, as every quarter in life keeps on moving by us, it's just at what point, Shannon, are you going to place yourself in the right atmosphere to be able to win yourself? Because, if you're not caring about your own health, then you're not going to be able to serve all the people that you want to. And so I thought about all these people that I know that are great friends and great colleagues of mine and thought, this is a win-win. This is how I can be an example and by accident put myself first because I want to be, part of the tribe. I don't want to, be on the sidelines saying, go everyone else and not feel great. So I think also at an age, I just got to a place where it helps me place it as a priority. I see the examples of individuals that are rocking it at age 100, and I know it's possible. And I also see the individuals in my circle that care about everybody else, and I'm on that path. The biggest thought to me is, am I an example or a warning in every area of my life? Like we spoke about on our last time together with your podcast. And, you get to a point where you just have to decide that time is important. And I don't want the quality of the next decades of my life to be different because I kept saying next Monday is going to be the time I pay attention to myself. So
yeah, it's so easy to keep delaying.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I'm hearing you say is that you were like, all right, what am I waiting for? And I'm going to create the situation such that it's a priority for me and I'm going to show up for myself because in that I'm also showing up for all these other people in this, creating community around wellness.
And honoring, I guess, honoring individuals that have been elite in the categories of wellness, thoughtful formulations when it comes to supplementation. I have all of the gifts around me, and I thought, why wouldn't I want to bring those quality individuals together? It was so special, wasn't it? Every Monday in itself, once a week, but Mondays can really not a wonderful day. So
people always say, a case of the Mondays, right? And this put a totally different spin on Mondays.
Mm-hmm. And I will tell you, to be honest, Jen, like some weeks I was so excited because life allowed me to be like, okay, I'm ready. And other weeks I was like busy and I was like, okay, I put this in my calendar. But again, another reflection of if I didn't have it in my calendar, I wouldn't have been so present. I wouldn't have stayed aware on a weekly basis so that each healthy habit stack I felt stronger with. Life sometimes throws the wrench in, right? There's some crabby people out there. They tend to move around. There's only a few of them, right? But they tend to move around a little. Sometimes it's like, really? You're going to rain on my parade? I'm like gifting happiness in the world, people.
For those of you who can't see, by the way, Shannon just held up a little thing that said gift happiness with like a beautiful landscape on it.
It's like, so to me, I just want to place myself in the bubble, in the atmosphere of what's going to move me in the right area and not be confused that life's going to happen and, the news or all things that I don't have a lot of control over are going to come in and try and interrupt my state. And what am I doing to make sure that I'm protective of that instead of say, oh no, the sky's falling when I'm all of a sudden in there.
Yeah. So, real talk, what reservations did you have, if any, before we started? Or because it's a commitment, there's an investment. It wasn't free. Did you have reservations or concerns or even expectations?
Yeah, I probably had a little of each of those. I certainly had concerns because when I decide that I'm going to be a part of something, I know that I have a different level of accountability. So, sometimes it's just easier to be like, oh, well, it's
Fun for you.
it's a busy quarter. Well, it's always a busy quarter. There's always something exciting going on and always something, probably a little bit more that I put on my plate like everybody else or is put on my plate from others. I'm loving some family members and want to care for their health. I have, younger teenage world. I have a young adult son. So I have all these different ages, all these different needs, all these different passions. And so I was a little reserved. Okay, well, is this the right time to place it in my life? And then I also was protective of your time, of the experts' time, because you give so much to so many and you didn't have to be in front of us. And so it was just something that I just take such respect and gratitude for. I don't take it lightly. I'm very sensitive to time, as you know. I have family members that are living with some autoimmune diseases. And one day they were one way, the next day they were a different way. And it's given me an obsession in a healthy way about time and that every day is extremely important in front of me. So I did not want to waste your time. And so I thank you for giving me that accountability to say, she's trading her expertise and her passion, and she could be gifting it to somebody else. And you've chosen to, obviously, like you said, it wasn't free, but when we step into that time is a price that you're trading. So,
well, thank you for that. Mm-hmm. And maybe skipping ahead in time a little bit, we're wrapping up with the Healthy Vibe Tribe. To the extent you're willing to share, what have your results been? And of course, as we always say, both on and off the scale and measurements. Like, what have you noticed as the transformation in the 12 weeks?
Yes. I went from, I have such a different feeling about the scale throughout the years. And I know others get very connected to the scale. And I've gone from, oh, I don't own a scale in the house. And I really love that. I was like, I can tell. My favorite pair of jeans, when they start getting tight, I start having real talk to myself, right? That's helpful. But sometimes I'm in yoga pants a lot that can slide through. And then I'm like, oh, well, I know what got me here. It's not confusing, yet I wasn't really paying enough attention and I'm not feeling great. So it is more to me about energy. Of course, I would love to look great. I would love, for my husband to have an extra, wow, where are you going when I have on a certain outfit? Sometimes that does feel nice, for him to take a second look and say, I don't want you going out without me. That's cool to me. Yet I did notice that I was pushing off that accountability. Well, I'm just proud of myself that I'm not attached to the scale. Well, I got a little off track because I didn't have any of that accountability. So my awareness there was, it's nice to know numbers, So have I gotten to the mastery status that I would like to be in that. No, I haven't yet.
Not yet.
Yes, exactly. Yet is such an important word that I do feel that. I'm not discouraged about it. I'm inspired about the progress. I have a very clear appreciation for all the pillars of health that I'm not going to be able to reach the mastery status in all 9 of them or more at the same time. And so I do love myself in progress, right? Progress equals happiness. And that's the lane I choose to step into. Yet I find that some people, it's so easy to see it with other people, right? Like,
yes,
Mom, I'm so excited that you walked to the mailbox and back, because she has a lot of health challenges. And I inside think, oh, I wish she could go to the next mailbox and back tomorrow, right? I don't want her to sit in just going to one mailbox, even though that's a great victory. So I'm always paying attention to that to myself. Are you noticing how you're moving the goalpost a little farther out, Shannon, so that 1% better on a daily basis that you can be proud of is actually happening, and you're not making excuses.
Yeah. Or justifying.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So on our call, I made a couple notes from some of the things that people shared.
Ooh.
And so you guys don't know these people. They know that we've shared these victories, so I'm not speaking out of turn. So we had Cindy, who was down 12 pounds, 2 pants sizes, was about to go buy a new jean jacket. She was like, I have to buy a new jean jacket. I'm never getting back into this one. She put it on last week because the weather was changing. She put it on last week. And not only was she able to wear it, she was able to button it closed. And she was like, I guess I don't need a new jean jacket.
That was so cool. It just felt like that you had any connection. I know that a lot of your listeners and viewers cannot help talking about you. And all of a sudden now they're making an impact through other people that they love. And just even to have be on the edge of it, that I was a tiny piece of connecting these dots made me feel so good, Jenn.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what you feel regularly.
I know. It's the best. It's the best. And then Jean, I've maybe shared bits and pieces from her. So when she first started the Healthy Vibe Tribe, her doctor basically was like, you need to go on these medications or else. And Jean pushed back and said, not yet. Let me actually put in some effort. Because I think similar to you, Shannon, and what she shared was sort of like, I just haven't been doing it. I know like so many of us, I know what to do. I'm just not doing it. Right? So with the Healthy Vibe Tribe, Jean started doing it with guidance and with support. So her in the first week, her fasting glucose dropped like 100 points, which was unbelievable. So it started at about 170. Her fasting glucose now is about 64. Her A1C in 1 month went from 9.5 to 7.8. And that's not to say that that's typical. That's not to say what would happen for anybody else. But I think it's a great example of what is potentially possible, even when we're nervous or sort of see the consequences of other choices right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that health professional just wanted to wrap their arms around her.
1,000%.
Talking about, which was so beautiful, that they just care so much about the patient. Yet, how exciting and inspiring it was for her to say, you know what, I'd really like to try and show you that I could do something different in a short amount of time without having to add an additional medication and an additional cost in her life, And she did. And I remember her sharing with us.
Yeah.
It was just that appointment. She was shocked to see how the difference in numbers. And sometimes it's because they may have experienced people that are asking for a pill versus putting in some additional hacks.
I think there's room for all of it,
Room-
right? Like to me, it's about all the things in combination.
Right. When you need it, like we want,
Right.
want to be able to have those critical resources. I remember, I don't know if we shared it on our talk together, but how when my dad went into his doctor's appointment and was updating the new health professional on his information. So it was the first time he was meeting him. And he said, "Oh, Dr. So-and-so said that I'm pre-diabetic." And this new doctor said, "You're either pregnant or you're not pregnant. You're diabetic." Now, that's not a factual,
Right.
information, but because he said it that way, all of a sudden my mom went home who said, "We're eating better than we've ever been." All of a sudden she removed 30 pounds herself because she was so worried about my dad.
Yeah.
Like, what a win when we're placed in a space of feeling concern about what our future is, and that we get very laser focused, magnificently obsessed about caring when we thought we were doing the best we could yesterday. And now all of a sudden, it became easy. She wasn't stressed about it. She was just very focused on it.
Well, and I think there's something really powerful that you just pointed out there, which is the words that we used. The words that we use, not just in terms of lost weight, which many of you listeners know is like nails on a chalkboard to me. We remove it, we release it. Anything you lose, don't you want to find it? We don't need to find this, right? Even what we were saying before of not yet, right? And so there's something really powerful about even the language of the doctor saying, you can't be a little bit pregnant. So we're not a little bit potentially maybe diabetic,
Sure.
And that frame can have a really powerful impact on our willingness to act, our willingness to take the next step and do more.
And maybe as our own advocate, taking a look at numbers or getting a report that says you're fine from your annual wellness visit. As friends of ours say, what are we doing for our annual wellness visit other than making sure we have clean underwear on? Hey, some of us are just excited that we made it to the wellness appointment and we didn't cancel it, so I get it. We're all, doing our best.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like for that point to say, how am I looking at this? My husband went and got an okay status at an annual appointment, but then he looked at his numbers and he goes, "I'm like right on the edge of a few of these things. I am not okay." And I was so impressed with his evaluation of saying, I don't want to get out of range and then say, "Oh no, can I?"
Now what do we do? Yeah. Awesome. So I want to shift and talk a little bit more about what some of the process was like, because it's not a straight line and, travel and all that kind of stuff. So we'll dig into that super quick. Let's pause to highlight our partner for this episode. Big thanks to Lumiere de Vie Skincare for supporting Salad with a Side of Fries. Lumiere de Vie Skincare was founded by Amber Ridinger McLaughlin in response to her own experience of mere marginal results from countless costly creams. She realized the revitalization of her youthful skin could only occur if she developed products herself. Working closely with beauty scientists and exploring the most advanced ingredients derived from the earth and sea, Amber created Lumiere de Vie, the next generation of skincare. The extensive line of luxury skincare products is designed to address all skin types and concerns, with the highest quality natural ingredients and powerful formulas that help heal, soothe, moisturize, and protect. Lumiere de Vie acts as first aid for your skin. The result is rejuvenated, luminous, beautiful-looking skin. So today we're talking about real people, real results, and I will say Lumiere de Vie brings the results for real people too. I love the needle-free serum. I've been using it for way longer than I've had this podcast, that's for sure. It's a little on the pricier side. It's $99.95, but it's much less costly than Botox and provides a quick tightening effect for taut-looking skin. I also love the intensive hand and body cream. Shannon, I know you love that one too. I will just say, I get compliments. Like I was wearing a sleeveless sweater recently and out to dinner, and a friend touched my arm and she was like, "Your skin is so soft." I was like, "It's Lumiere de Vie." That one, by the way, is just $34.25. All of these prices are before your 10% off and free shipping for being a salad with a side of fries listener. So simply text the word SKIN, SKIN, to 844-947-4846. You'll receive the link and coupon code right to your phone. Again, simply text the word SKIN, SKIN, to 844-947-4846 to try Lumiere DV Skincare at 10% off and free shipping. This is a toll-free number. Standard text and data rates may apply. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I say that there are a few items in that line that I'm so grateful to have experienced myself, and they are like musts in my bag because
What's your
I'm
favorite?
The hand and body lotion for sure. It is like I gift it to people that I just love it so much. I have to get it in front of people. My sister-in-law is one of the top estheticians in our local area, and she herself says, I had dry elbows and dry knees, and I'm a skincare expert. I have tried everything, Shannon, and I cannot believe how when I put it on, she puts it on right after the shower, so there gets a little bit of, an extension because it's a beautiful texture and, just soaks right in instantly. And so she gets a little bit more out of the tube by putting it on right after the shower. But she said all day long. And I felt the same. I'm like, I don't want my husband to lean up to me if I don't have it on. That's how I've gotten.
Right.
It just feels so different. Love it.
I know.
But that needle-free serum too, like a little goes a long way.
Oh yeah.
Is like it. You notice that very quickly. And I love those kind of things because I do not,
Then you're not wasting your money. You're like, no, I can tell. I can feel it.
Yeah. What am I going to see from high school? Let me make sure I have that.
Right. Totally. And also, what a great time to also focus on your wellness thing, right? Up level that commitment before your next reunion or whatever it is.
Well, we feel better. Like, I think that helps us want to also, we want to feel better on the inside out, but then, it's like, hey, I deserve this. I'm going to feel a little better from the outside, and that quality skincare, I'm all in for that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So thinking back over the 12 weeks of the Healthy Vibe Tribe, it was certainly not all the other things in life stopped, right? There was travel. There was other stuff. How was even traveling different for you now versus before?
I'm so grateful that this was placed within, because I had a vacation with my family within it. And then I had a work week, that was really fun. And I found they were 2 weeks right in a row. But also in addition, it was after a holiday. And a lot of times we can sort of get in that holiday hangover time. So if I didn't have this, again, tribe to be able to plug into and know that there was community around it, I don't know. I could have just sort of floated through many more weeks before I got started, So there was that. And then I knew that I was on vacation with a lot of distractions and a lot of unlimited choices and vacation with my husband, and he has a stressful job. So, join on in and, placing things in the calendar where you're going to be around wellness warriors. That's a big deal, so I was thinking about being together in person with that, but it's because I put it in the schedule. Like I had it in my calendar to be able to have in-person connections. So, when we were driving, I noticed going into the gas station right on the thruway, I was like, wow, I would have made 5 bad choices already. I just noticed, like, again.
Wait, well, okay. So, but let's go there. So what would Shannon from 2024 would have had what on the road trip?
Well, I would have grabbed probably an energy drink, which I don't normally, right? But if I take myself out of my home environment and I'm, attempting to wake up early, stay later, be around different spaces, I would have probably grabbed an unhealthy energy drink. I would have grabbed some form of a bag of healthy chips, which I know nothing in there would have been a good choice. I might have even grabbed a Snickers bar. That I find that
what's the Wait, what's the line from Snickers of like when you're hungry or you need like their old commercial? Remember that was like, if you need to be satisfied, like
Yeah, some of that
Snickers is the
free,
answer.
right? Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would have found myself doing that. I mean, I always grab water when I'm there, so that's not a
Hmm.
challenge, but it's like I just fill it to fill it, Oh, I'm going in there, let me grab some stuff. I'm on this road trip, so like a switch is flipped, like it's okay. I can be in this space. I'm in a car and I could just have junk. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
John.
Right. I don't know. Old shit. Right.
But I didn't feel that way. I was so happy to be like,
Yeah. So what did you get this time?
I did water. I didn't grab any of the chocolate. I had prepared in advance. So I had, some protein bars and loved that I happened to get to see you in a
Yeah.
work environment for a conference and just to be inspired by your choices. That was the second part. It was so easy.
I mean, I literally ate salad and fries every day for lunch.
It was so fun. One, like to be with you, I was like, it was so easy for us both to have water when
Yes.
other people were enjoying what they wanted to enjoy, which was great for them, but I couldn't believe like for it just got so easy. And again, saying, wow, look at the choices that I'm making about who I'm placing myself with and why it was easier, and at the same time still got to enjoy all the celebration of it. I didn't have to like put myself in like, nope, I'm going right back to the hotel room because I'm not going to enjoy life. It was so fun. And I was so impressed with myself the next morning. Same thing with fitness though, right? Like you are such an inspiration to me about living what you teach, and
Well, thank you.
every day, no matter what, no matter how early or late anything was, you find a way to add in fitness. And I said, the next time that I find myself at a conference with you, I'm excited that I'm going to be a different identity when it comes to that. Because again, once I travel, it's easy for me to get off track to do that.
But I will say, progress. You packed clothes to exercise.
And I packed plenty because I was like, oh, I'm going to be with Jenn. I'm on track. I'm doing so well. I don't want to be off track with it. And I let other priorities.
Well, but the point being, perfection not required. And bringing the exercise clothes is still progress over where we've been before.
Yes. And eating super clean.
Yes.
I didn't even have any of the fries, but I was
I know.
feeling so excited that I knew that this is lifelong. These are decisions that I feel great about. And so if I didn't have the best production in my fitness, I was walking more than I ever do at home because we were in a space that a lot of walking fast, being efficient, even, taking stairs whenever possible, walking along the streets in their outdoor shops. Like I don't normally get to do that. So I was happy that I found ways instead of just saying, oh, the one tire is slashed, let's slash the other one's analogy.
Yeah.
So that felt good. I just couldn't believe every single day. I thought, oh, okay, I'm presenting one day. And after that, then I'm going to want to celebrate and, eat a certain way. But I'm becoming a different person. I know I spoke to you about it where I went out in a social environment with my neighbors. And during this journey with the Healthy Vibe Tribe, they've seen me not have certain things. So when I went with them I don't know, was it a week ago? They brought it up to me. Oh, Shannon, you're not going to want to order a drink, right? I sat there going, wow, like they're noticing I am an example of wellness to the people that I love dearly in my life. And I just smiled, like they're seeing a different identity and they're supporting it now, even,
Yeah. It's such a shift because there's a few things in there. One piece is the alcohol part. We had another Healthy Vibe Tribe member. I think I think longer than she's ever gone without an alcoholic beverage.
Mm.
And it's those kinds of things. Like everybody is in different places. And yet, even hearing what everybody else has going on, like somebody else said to me, hearing what other people have going on, it's the reminder that I'm not alone. Their challenges are the same as mine. And it helps us all,
Mm-hmm.
And then the other piece of what you're sharing is how that snowballs to everyone around us when we start to make quality choices. It inherently invites other people around us to do it too, in a way that's not pushy, that's not, it's just the choice for me. And that's enough of an invitation sometimes. And then our consistency in healthier choices allows the people around us to adapt.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, and I see this a lot of times with people where there's fear or nervousness about how other people are going to react in certain social settings or a work environment or those kinds of things. And it's more about our consistency that sets the example than their, comments of whatever it might be,
Yeah. And I find I joke and say I am a lightweight when it comes to the alcohol conversation because I am. I can have one and feel like I had 10. I don't know. But I just realized that I have a very social circle. And wow, the one here and there, it's endless. It's like, oh, there's a birthday. Oh, there's a holiday. Oh, there's this, so-and-so friend had this. There's always a reason to be celebrating. And I like that I just have full control over that. And I just do it occasionally. A friend of ours that's a coach, when I brought him a label and I said, how often could I eat this? It looks like it's a pretty decent label. And he was like, well, that is you're asking for my opinion. And this is an item that is not on the table until you reach your goal. And then it's a every once in a while food because it wasn't a health food, but I want to find a way because I looked wrong.
Totally. We're learning and growing. We're practicing reading our labels, right? So the Healthy Vibe Tribe's wrapping up. What's the plan going forward for you? We can fill everybody in on the Healthy Vibe Tribe plan, but what do you feel like is your plan going forward? As we said, not mastery yet. And I'm not going to put words in your mouth. So how do you feel, going forward?
I feel like the few weeks were not ideal for me. I knew I had a lot on my plate, a lot of things going on. So I think I was just proud of myself that I got started. And then I feel differently. I noticed that I don't even have to track immensely when I move, when I am eating quality, clean food. I'm not measuring. I'm not, perfect in my journaling.
You don't need to be.
It feels easy because I can feel how, I know you're very real here, but my thighs don't touch, when I am eating clean, moving a little bit and taking desserts out of my life. That's sugar conversation is desserts for me. So knowing that I'm doing that and then adding in a few formulations that have been added.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about supplements right now, but it's also a piece of the Healthy Vibe Tribe was the supplementation piece. And it's powerful.
Yeah.
It makes a difference.
So that of actually tracking, and one little tip that I noticed for myself is I was not good at placing my weekly schedule in front of me. And then I'd be like, oh, well, let me just figure it out, or not eating because I was, just busy. And so I've noticed a tip for myself was, where are you planning your week out? And I never really thought about that before. So I placed myself in an atmosphere that makes me happy when I'm planning, Jen, So it's like something to look forward to instead of, oh, okay, let me think about my life for the week and see if I can put in, when am I taking a few supplements instead of, because they're not only going to work if I'm taking those consistently too. And so moving forward, I feel like fitness is my focus for spring, and I'm going to track that where instead of just hoping that I fit it in. I know when I for several months made it a priority because I told other people that I was going to be doing fitness, all of a sudden I saw a major shift in my body composition. Therefore, my clothes felt really incredible. So that's
and
it's moving forward for myself.
Yes, I love it. And you also, we've talked about this, the accountability piece was so powerful. You are continuing to keep accountability, even if it looks a little bit different, but it's like keeping the things in place that we know helped us get here. So often in the past when we've done something and go on, off, good, bad, gained the weight back in air quotes or whatever it is, right? We stop doing the things that got us there. So, right, if the accountability is super helpful, sharing it with other people is super helpful, you're doing exactly that now too, which is tremendous.
Yeah, I don't think that it's funny. Like if I have a workout buddy and then that buddy has something going on, it's so easy for me to have life happen to me. It's like we joke and say we shared a fitness brain. It's like, oh my gosh, what's happening? How can I all of a sudden just not figure it out when you can't figure it out? It's fun to think about. We have so many ways to be able to do that now, and we can find a way to check in with our Healthy Vibe Tribe. The community that you surround us with is important to me because staying close to the fire is a term that I often use in business, but also in our personal health goals. That's what I need to do. And I'm always winning. So thank you for continuing to be a resource that I want to show up well for the people I love. And you make it easy. You make me happy about it. And when I can learn, I feel like that's a shift in my brain. If I can place myself in learning environment about a few different points in our topic that you help us track, it just gets me stronger. It's sort of like it tricks my brain to say, this is what I should be doing. Even though I know some of it, if I learn something new about well, what about the quality of water? Oh, okay. And you share something in one of your trainings, then I'm like, okay, well, that makes me want to do that more. My dad did not drink water, any quality water his whole life. And then when I shared with them the ability to up his water with some hydrogen tabs, right?
Yeah, we talked about molecular hydrogen in an episode not a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
And now all of a sudden it made enough sense to him where he was like, let me see if this can make a difference for me. And he got committed with it. And he, what a surprise, is noticing benefits there, And so I just like being in that space where you're continually educating us and it makes it easier for me. I just feel stronger. And again, that magnificently obsessed and laser focused feeling goes back to how the words we say to ourselves, right? Like I just happened to have a training before this. Have you ever seen these, Jen, where it's like temporary tattoos? It might hokey to some people, but if I can put these cues in my space, I love.
Yeah. So everybody, there was a temporary tattoo that said, you got this.
Right.
Love it.
I have one that says, when you pray, move your feet. And someone doesn't have to be a deep spiritual or faith-based to see that on their arm or wherever they put that, right? When you pray or when you're thinking about what your day and week are going to be, move your feet. That means I have a part to play in this. I'm not a victim. I'm not just sitting on the sidelines and life is, taking me in whatever direction it wants. Like, I need to move my feet, literally and figuratively.
Right, exactly. I love it. I think to wrap this up, what would you want to tell someone who's looking to make changes in their life and their health, what would you want them to know?
Powerful, powerful question. What would I want? It matters. Hey, I'm in a,
And it's possible. I'm adding that.
yeah. We are given X amount of days here. And if we all knew, how many days we had left, we might have a little bit more urgency in our steps. So to me, I don't worry about how many. I'm excited about however many I have. So to me, it's just very clear that people that care about their health are independent, and that drives me. I would like to be independent and serve more people because of my independence. So I guess I would say to others, don't get so stuck in the weeds about wanting to know exactly what I need to do to get to X pounds. Be excited about the day that we're living in and all that we have around us, and just move your feet, right?
Yeah.
Jump in and move your feet and not feel like you are a victim. Be excited about every single day that you get to make progress, and no comparison, right? There's no comparison to other people. And we can say that, and then we scroll on some social media. Look at them. Oh, it's spring. Wish I would have paid attention in winter a little bit more.
Yeah.
How about saying it's spring and I am going to rock my results through these next few months so that when summer shows up, it's very clear that I was laser focused and magnificently obsessed about my own health.
I love it. Yeah. I think I would just say, for people, the Healthy Vibe Tribe was a variation of my typical 12-week curriculum. And when I heard from you, Shannon, about, the Healthy Vibe Tribe and what we created there and what you shared today and what I hope everyone's hearing is that there's a method to the madness of the 12 weeks. For some of us, 12 weeks can feel like an eon, right? And we want results tomorrow. For others, it can sound like no time at all, right? Either way, the progress that we make, the tool belt that we can build in 12 weeks allows us to live a lifetime of health, right? The results will come, and beginning now is what makes it work. And you can figure out how to make it work for you.
I love it. Thank you so much. And I cannot wait to update you of where I am 12 weeks from today.
All right. Well, it's a date, Shannon. The fitness portion of your phase, right? All right, everybody. On Friday in this week's Nutrition Nugget, we're talking all about CRP. So this stands for C-reactive protein. It's a blood test that you may get at your physical or one that you might have to ask for. But we're going to talk all about understanding CRP, what it's measuring, why we might want to look at it, what we can do to improve this health marker. So all that on Friday and this week's bonus episode Nutrition Nugget. Be sure wherever you're listening, click the plus sign or the follow button, and then your app will alert you when it goes live on Friday morning. And of course, friends, as always, everybody, I'm your host, Jenn Trepeck. Connect with me on Instagram or all social media. I'm at Jenn Trepeck, JennTrepeck. Website is asaladwithasideoffries.com. Pick your platform, send a message. This is the easiest way to learn more about working with me as your health coach, joining the next round of our Healthy Vibe Tribe, and then, of course, asking your questions, sharing your ideas, your key takeaways. Shannon, thank you again for being here.
Love you. Thank you.
And of course, everybody, if you are not already, join our membership by going to glow.fm/salad with a side of fries. This shows your support for this podcast, this community. Most importantly, it supports your health. You'll get this week's recipe for the Asian broccoli salad with peanut dressing and the article from our friends at Levels Health. What is a healthy body fat percentage and why does it matter for metabolic health? So until next week, remember, you can do this. Making yourself and your health a priority is infinitely easier when you make a commitment to yourself, Put the support in place around you, like a coach or a healthy vibe tribe or both, and it can make all the difference. Well, friends, that's it for today's episode of Salad with a Side of Fries. Congratulations for making yourself and your health a priority. Thanks so much for joining us. Be sure to click subscribe or follow on your favorite podcast platform. Share us with a friend, and we'll be back next week. Always remember, you deserve it, and you are worth it. Happy healthy.